still senses something.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Coming through!
Take this! Swallow Blade!
Falling Storm!
I'll thank you!
Blade!
Elusive Deity!
Mega Ray!
You're mine!
I'll take out the
I'm not
legs with
done.
my shield.
Do it!
Shield!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble.
Think we overdid it?
Not by a long shot.
Take this! Swallow
Make
Blade!
it rain!
Burning Strike! We won that by a mile. Maybe something's going on in the forest.
There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Ren and eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. I've got something. You've got to know when to quit.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies. And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renin cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me, but my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue. Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my arts. When he slows down, that's our chance. Not a chance.
It's like trying to keep
No
up with a
further.
wolf!
I'm not done.
Flame of fury! Burning strike!
You're mine. It's over. Dragon form. Elusive deity. You're mine. On your knees.
Tiger Blade!
Take this. Air pressure.
Resonate with the earth!
Dragon form. Blasting shot.
Hear my call!
You're mine.
Make it rain!
All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Negative gate! Dragon Form! I'm ready! Plasma Dohalim! In an instant! Impact Block!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
No further! Take this! Swallow Blade!
This one's mine!
Take this! Swallow Blade!
Leave the agile ones to me. Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Shattering the pieces! Attack time!
Freeze
You're
laser!
mine! Slash! And catapult!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Elusive deity!
I think the enemy's getting desperate.
Got them where we want them.
Don't take your hand, though.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your
You've got
heart's
a knack for
content.
battle.
I still plan on training.
That's what I like to hear. Make it rain! Turn your way!
In an instant! Impact Block!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
see what you've got.
Plasma shock!
Rick shot!
Here!
You're mine! I'm not done!
Radiant flood! Here!
Lunarondo!
Airborne
Rising
beast.
Falcon!
My
Blue
specialty.
escape! Dragon swarm!
Annihilation!
We got fire!
I've got
Take
this!
this!
Let a marksman
I'm
handle
not
it!
done! All yours!
This one's mine!
Here I come!
Take it!
Slash!
Go!
Activate
Target
blade!
started!
Orochi Fury!
Annihilation!
I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
So I still had room to grow.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
Hey, look at that enemy! It's shining!
I have a bad feeling about
Here I
this.
come! Slash!
Get behind me!
Dragon swarm!
Flame!
You're
Reload! Not in your dreams!
On your knees!
It's a duel of the arts!
Here I come! Ha! Lunarondo!
Resonate with
Fine
me.
free!
Tiger Ray!
Still!
See ya!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Not by a long
Get!
shot.
One more! It's over!
This one's mine!
Leave the enemy's art to me!
Escape my judgment. No complaints here.
This one's mine!
Plasma shock!
Water snake wing!
Lunar
Take
corruption!
this!
Lunar
Orochi
blast!
Fury!
I'm stuffed up! Do it!
Crush!
Annihilation! Searing flame!
Ah!
Art expert coming through! None shall escape my judgment!
Elusive deity! Here I come! I'm not done!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
That's far enough!
In a bind?
I'm not done!
going in.
Swallow blade!
Take this!
Dragon
Right here! I got you! Tiger blade!
Try harder! My turn! Ha! Ha! Dragon form!
I'm grateful.
Lightning!
You're mine!
Did you just heal me?
Yes. I need you, remember?
Not
Right.
Freeze laser!
take this!
Falling storm!
Do it! Frozen!
Hammer!
My turn!
In the sky!
Swallow blade! Dragon swarm!
Annihilation!
Plasma shock!
Luna Storm!
Piercing roar!
Here I come! Lunarondo!
I'm ready!
Rising!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down! Blue escape! Dragon swarm! It's on! Here I come! Blue escape!
Resonate with... I'm ready!
Kizara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Skills in top form, art's working like a charm.
Someone seems rather pleased with herself.
Did you hear all of that?
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, Across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's that big tower over there?
We should be able to cook here.
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is. Not this way, I guess.
I'm okay, guys.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
I'm not
Don't
done!
worry, I've got plenty to go around.
Resonate with
Glacial
fire!
Spear! Pierce evil! Here goes!
Plasma
Freeze
Shock!
Lancer!
We got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
No escape! All yours!
An astral art?
That's
My
the
blade
clue!
moves like silk. I'll just let my instincts take over. How fascinating.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more
Do
pummeling.
it! Cut them apart to your
Die!
heart!
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
You're mine! I'm not done!
This one's mine!
Catapult! No escape! Lunar
Do
Rondo!
it!
Dueling! In an instant! Impact Claw! I still got a ways to go.
I'm not afraid.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
There!
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that. If I had to guess, it probably served as some kind of shrine.
So still a house, in a sense.
That's far enough!
Ruined Gate! Dragon Swarm!
Negative gate!
Don't mind if I do.
Ruined Gate!
I'm only getting started.
Tiger Blade!
Plasma Shock!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours
Astral
truly.
Arts?
That's my cue. This one's mine.
Shut him down!
Who wants to die next?
A lord's power never ceases to amaze me.
I'm as regular as the next man.
Do it! Yeah, the next man who gets to be a lord.
We managed to pull through.
Do my best!
Can't get out of this!
Escape my judgment.
Swallow Blade!
Jasmine spin!
Tempest!
Tiger
Here I come!
Blade!
Catapult! Slash! Dragon Tempest!
Ready. Cyan instant.
Falling storm!
You're mine! Slash!
The power of
Catapult!
water.
Eternal Devastation!
Annihilation. Mega ray.
I'm ready!
Mine.
Shion!
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes! A merry distraction.
This one's
There's
mine.
still more to go.
Swallow Blade!
Tiger Blade! Does anyone else think this may be just a bit too tough for us? Seriously? Is this a joke?
Glacial Spear. Here's the Evo.
Dragon Swarm!
Don't mind if I do.
Look shot!
Freeze Racer.
Tiger Blade!
Here I come! Swallow Blade!
Make it rain!
Got fire!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my limbs aren't too.
Something you wanted to
Let's
say?
see about that.
Tiger Blade!
Lunar Corruption.
Dragon
Do
Swarm!
it. Going in.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Here goes.
Everlasting darkness!
Going in!
Ice Tornado.
Slash!
Do it! There are...
Air pressure!
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
Hey, new equipment!
A debut performance! Transform!
Dazzling spin!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Swallow blade!
Flying freeze! Why can't they just sit still?
You wanna
Shia,
play?
can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Your blade moves like silk. I just let my instincts take over. How fascinating.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more
Do
power.
it! Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all. Leave the enemy's arch to me.
One more!
Heal!
No complaints here.
Make it rain!
And just like that, all yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Look sharp!
One more! Done!
Tiger blade!
Crush! Air pressure!
I'm ready. Rinwell, light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Did anybody see that?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me, why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
Take this. Can you take it?
Try harder! My turn! Raging Storm! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
Swallow Blade! Dragon Swarm! Rekka! Slack! Infernal Torrent!
Freezing
Raging Luna Storm.
This one is
It's
mine!
over!
Take this.
Mega Ray!
Die.
Annihilate!
You're mine!
Enjoy.
I'll heal you all!
Take this!
Power surges
Take this!
through me.
Swallow Blade!
Resonate with the earth.
Stalagmite! Will this help?
Here I come!
Fool.
Swallow Blade!
Take
Dragon
this.
Swarm!
Healing circle!
Azure Storm!
Enjoy.
All right. Now where...
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine. Really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Dahnan astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest. Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain, but you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...